right, I am super excited because this weekend we have another Duels of Runeterra tournament. If you didn't see, I tweeted out, I actually retweeted the tweet from Duels of Runeterra regarding how to sign up using Smash GG, so definitely check it out. Thank you, as always, to the tournament host, Han, also known as Kuma, and obviously to Team Liquid for sponsoring the tournament in the first place. Always a good time. Not sure if I'm casting or not this weekend, but we shall see. Hopefully that'll be in my future. So with that said, the reason I am bringing that up right now is because this video is going to be some footage from the previous tournament. Trying to amp up this weekend a little bit. Everybody get a little bit excited. From the last tournament, we have FRESHLOBSTER and CEPHALAPOD. I was actually casting with my longtime friend Rob, also known as RobBot. His Twitch will be in the description below as well. He was also casting with me for the video I had posted up a couple weeks ago. Also in the description below, that was Swim versus Please Don't Hack Me. That was a great matchup, honestly. Those were some pretty cool decks that Please Don't Hack Me was playing. So without further ado, let's get into the gameplay. I do actually skip right to the start of us focusing on FRESHLOBSTER's game. Or it's a little bit before the game, but you don't see myself and Rob in this as much. You just hear our voices doing the voiceover for the game. Again, I do apologize for the audio quality, as this was our first cast with myself and Rob. Didn't have everything quite set up the way that we wanted. Still got some quality gameplay, so let's get into it. Okay.
Hearthstone.
Oh, you said it. That's the second time today. We only get two. We only get two to bring it up.
You got to give me a little more than that. So, Jowl Hunters reminds me of Driving Griffin.
Oh, yeah. Yep, the rush. Yeah.
Yeah. Because you're essentially rushing with this. Yep. And then you also replace it itself. So, yep. Overall, very good. And the Sea Monster package right now is fairly slim. So, you're likely to get something good that will be, you know, a late game buff too. With all the salvage, it will eventually get to a deep. I think almost all the Sea Monsters have deep. So I think it's definitely something that, you know, it's a good card for a deck that's not necessarily focused around deep and tossing.
No, I agree 100%. Like, that is a card that will, I think, in the future, even though it grabs a Sea Monster, it will make Sea Monsters relevant for sets to come. Simply because, like you said, it's like Diving Griffin. It just has a use of ramming itself into something with 4 health, hopefully, and then replacing itself with any card. It really doesn't even matter, because most Sea Monsters are actually decently strong. So any Sea Monster that you get from that, like, I think the worst one you can get is like a 4/4 for 4.
Yeah. And
that's pretty good to get that type of card to replace that.
Yeah, and their removal package is almost the same for both of them as well. They're both running 3 copies of Ruination, 3 copies of Withering Wall, 3 Grass Land.
Jeez.
And then from the Bilgewater side is 3 Make It Rain, 3 Pilfered Goods, and 3 Salvage to kind of dig for those cards.
Yeah, I'm still not sold on this salvage, man. I just feel like tossing your own cards is just really risky.
Right. I completely agree with you. The fact of the matter, though, is now it has a purpose in the deck. Now it has the Maokai. So I think this makes more sense, but I'm more not sold on the Pilfered Goods here, because I don't know how you're triggering Plunder, and I don't see how that random card is going to help, unless you just randomly grab the one thing you need, like something from another class.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I will say the Pilfered Goods is definitely a questionable card too. It's less, I think it's less valuable than most of the other cards in the deck. So and it's going to be hard, I think, for this matchup too that FRESHLOBSTER's got going on here with, you know, he's got this Demacia Freljord deck, which I'm definitely interested in. But I feel like a lot of the cards that are in Cephalapod's deck, and the same deck essentially that FRESHLOBSTER's playing, can pretty easily take care of all of the mid-range followers in FRESHLOBSTER's deck in this matchup. I think. I'm not sure. I mean, I've literally never seen this matchup, but I feel like with that much removal, 3 Grass, 3 Withering Whale, Ruination, like, that's a lot of removal, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely curious about what FRESHLOBSTER is playing now, just for the fact that I haven't really seen any Ash deck just at all right now, and the fact that everyone's getting a copy, I'm sure it's, you know, people are definitely cluing into this.
Yeah, the only time I've seen Ash played prior to this and prior tournaments was Ash with Noxus as a kind of mid-range aggro deck because she's got 5 attacks, so there's Trifarian Assessor that draws 1 for every 5 attack minion on the board. So that's really the only way Ash has been used. Otherwise, Ash is definitely one of the lower played champions.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely can see that. A lot of what I'm seeing from this deck list too is that it's taking about maybe half of a Bannerman deck. Obviously, there's no Bannerman in here.
Thank
and
God.
It's combining it with all these cool freeze effects, including, I'm not sure if this is one of the newer cards, but Rimfang Wolf.
Rimfang Wolf. No, that's from the original set. Yeah, that is a good card. I think that will only get better as time goes on. I mean, pairing that with a Frostbite is very, very good.
Yeah, and there's definitely a whole bunch of frost effects. You have 3 Iceveil Archer, you have 3 Brittle Steel, and then also 2 copies of Harsh Wind to kind of get that freeze going off in addition to Ash.
Yeah, so very I really want to see a Maokai win, I'm not gonna lie. Like if I end the tournament today and see a Maokai win, I will be very excited. I will be a happy boy. All right.
I'm hoping none of the Maokai's got whatchamacallit. I hope none of them got banned because I'm curious to see that. But it also comes down to the same thing that I've been saying, where it's like these long, drawn-out combo decks. It's either they draw their combo and go off, or they don't. And I think if the Maokai is faster than the other combo decks, they can mill the person's combo and win.
Yeah, so and again, just to that salvage thing, man. Ugh, I don't know. We'll see what happens with the salvage here. We'll see if all of those toss cards actually come back to bite them, and end up maybe milling themselves of their Maokais or maybe some other game-changing card. Like it would feel bad to toss your Ruinations, right? I mean that's a pretty big swing card.
That's also why they're running 3. I mean, if you look at their deck list again, almost
3
all
of
the
everything.
cards are 3 of exactly. The one difference being, was it Fresh Lobster has a single copy of Vengeance, which I don't think having a single one of makes any sense. In Cephalapod's version, he replaced that with a Soul Gorger.
Yeah, why is he only playing 2 Soul Gorgers?
No. He's running a single copy, but the deck lists are identical aside from
that. Okay.
The champion difference and the Soul Gorger versus the Vengeance. There are only 2 cards different.
So we can see here, I'm a little concerned for Fresh Lobster. This is interesting. I mean, he's supposed to be the aggressor in this matchup, and he's way far behind on tempo on the field right now. Like it's insane. You have a full field staring you down in a control deck. The control deck should not, I feel like, be in this position and be this just like solid right now as far as like he's not worried about health, he's not worried about anything. To have that many followers already on the field for a control deck is nuts. And this is
on turn 4.
Yeah, exactly. Like it blows my mind how far ahead it looks like he is. But I will say Fresh Lobster has a lot of units in his hand to reload this board, so he's gotta start playing some of them here.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how he comes back from this too, because I realize just looking at this deck list, it's really not many comeback mechanics without minions on board.
For Fresh Lobster's deck list, yeah, I could definitely see that. And I mean, you need the followers on board to use the combat tricks like Brittle Steel, like Flash Freeze, Harsh Wind, stuff like that. So I was thinking he's got to play the Ash, so I think that's a smart decision here to go ahead and get the Ash on the board ASAP. If he can get a leveled up Ash, I think that's a big deal. The problem is I think Cephalapod has way too many tools to deal with the Ash. Like the Ash is probably going to die.
Yeah, and again with the 3 health too, I mean, it's just a huge target on his head right now, and it's just there's not much that Fresh Lobster can do to protect it.
No, there's really not, to be honest with you. I mean, he could, and again, you said there's no Bannerman here. I'm like expecting to see a Bannerman in his hand, but every time I look at it, there's not, and I remember that it's a Freljord deck. So,
well, what I was saying in regards to the Bannerman shell, it's running stuff that you would see in it, like the Tracker, Bright Steel Protector, the Loyal Badger Bear, and the Grizzled Ranger. Swiftwing Lancer, and Cytherea the Bold.
Yeah, that's a lot of... I mean, he definitely has a very high curve as far as followers are concerned. What is... I'm sorry, I feel like you said this, but what was the second champion that Fresh Lobster's playing aside from Ash? Is it Garen?
In that deck? No, it's just Ash.
It's just Ash. That's interesting.
Yeah, that's why I was like interested in this deck. I was like, is Ash really enough to carry the deck? And, like,
well, I don't think... I mean, listen, if you put Ash in a deck, I don't think Ash really carries any deck. The only thing you're really trying to do with Ash is just get that crystal arrow and try to go in for the kill on some turn at some point. But I don't know, man. And I will say Deny's not played a lot, so you don't really have to worry about that with crystal arrow, so that's good.
Yes, but it's not more carrying the deck. I probably phrased that wrong. So why choose Ash over any of the Dynasty champions?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It honestly, well, listen, hey, Fresh Lobster, he's the one that's 3-0. Right? So it's like obviously he knows what's up. He's piloted the deck to 3-0. He must have won with it at least a few times. So I mean, but I agree with it. I feel like it's weird that he is playing Ash, but it must be useful. I mean, he is able to attack with it right now and get the frostbite off. So
yeah, so like I definitely have questions for him, and it's not about his mustache. It's really just more. I want to know, like, what is with the deck, because I'm confused by it. Like, again, it all comes down to, if you're going to run half a Bannerman deck, why are you choosing this over Bannerman?
Dude, you beat me to it. You beat me to commenting on his stash. I actually meant to way earlier, and I was going to say, can we just take a moment to appreciate Fresh Lobster's get up here with the awesome hat, the awesome glasses, and the awesomest mustache of them all.
Yeah, like I'm pulling his look straight out of like a jazz bar.
He just sees a cigar, right? And a glass of whiskey.
Martinis with him or something shit like that.
Oh,
so back to the game before I get too distracted. Like I said, when we were talking about the Bannerman, tainted Bannerman, we'll call it. This starts to get even more tainted. So I'm just curious, like, are people just trying to go for a cool deck here, or are they trying to, is there some value in doing? Because it's essentially now we're getting to half and half. It's half Freshlob cards and half Demacia.
Yeah, I mean, I will say it feels like some of the cards that are in these decks are strictly just to make... I think people just want to feel better about playing Bannerman and just be like, well, it's not really Bannerman. It's a different deck, even though, like, no, dude, it's not. It's Bannerman. Like, come on, it's the same thing.
The game plan is the same regardless.
Yeah,
But I see some merit in having some tempo swinging cards with the Frostbite cut. So, but the question is, like, even the other card in here, Fury of the North, I consider it a good card too. But is it better?
Oh, so Fury of the North is in here, huh?
Yeah, he's got 3 copies of it, and he's running also 3 copies of single combat. So those alone are good combat tricks.
Yeah, those are really good combat tricks, and it's
the
something
thing I didn't realize about Fury of the North too is burst speed too, which makes it significantly better. To have +4 health and +4 attack at burst speed.
Yeah, that is very, very good when you compare it to something like, well, like, let's see, Brahms Takeheart. Brahms Takeheart is +3/+3 for 3 burst, but it has to be on a damage unit.
I think the card I'm thinking of is standalone too, which is a 3-mana 3/3, right?
Yeah, but it has to be only 1 unit. So, like, that has a requirement to only have 1 unit.
Right, Fury of the North doesn't have the requirements.
Exactly, yeah, I do think Fury of the North is the better card of most of them right now. It does only last for 1 turn, but yeah, that's rough.
Are really good to make it rain.
Oh, dude, I'll tell you, man, make it rain with a keg on the field feels bad. It looks like it crucially missed the Ash though, so yeah. I think that's gonna help a lot here.
Again, that RNG.
The problem now is that he wants to play, like, he's probably eyeing that Rhymefang Wolf like, oh yeah, I want to get this Ash to freeze something and then kill it with the Rhymefang Wolf. The unfortunate thing is, if he attacks with the Ash, there's 2 blockers right now that could potentially kill it, which feels really bad. So I think he's forced into playing the Swiftwing Lancer here instead of the Rhymefang. But I could be wrong. We'll see what he plays. Yep. Looks like he's going with the Swiftwing.
Yeah, he really just wants to clear out the 3 attack minions before he does anything. And his only way of doing that is, well, he put the Challenger out, or the Lancer, that's one way. And really his only other ways are using his Frostbite cards.
Yeah, 100%. And you can see he's really valuing this Ash. Like, he's got to know something that we don't. Like, he's just valuing this Ash. He wants to protect it. He wants to keep it on the field. So it's crazy. Man, it's just crazy what he's done with this deck. And it looks like this Ash is going to level up soon too.
Yeah, which is good because that means the Crystal Arrow may be able to deal with that board. Maybe that's what he's really hoping to kind of stabilize. Yeah,
the Crystal Arrow will definitely help on future turns. And that's the thing too. Like I said, not only is a lot of people not really playing Deny, this is the 2 regions that don't even have it. So they don't have access to anything that's going to be able to prevent that. And right now, almost everything on the field is going to be hit by... No, everything on the field. Everything on the field would be hit by a Crystal Arrow right now.
So I think Crystal Arrow paired with the Wolf is really going to help start to clean up things and maybe get him to taking care of that Maokai in the back row.
Yeah, and that is really what he has to get rid of, right? And I mean, so wait, Cephalapod was playing 2 copies, right, of Maokai?
Yes. He took out 1 copy for that game plan copy.
Gotcha. So that is something to consider too. Even once he kills that Maokai, there's a good chance that he's going to draw another one at some point. Which being that it's a control deck, he'll probably stall out long enough. So I guess the question is, how does Fresh Lobster deal with the inevitable second Maokai?
Well, it depends on how. Have we seen his deck at all? How many cards? Oh, there he goes. 19 cards, it looks like.
God, it's like they hear us whenever we're saying that stuff. It's great.
Yeah.
Like, hover over your deck and then they do it.
He is close to being deep, but that doesn't matter for this deck. We're really concerned with how much he's leveled up Maokai.
Yeah, exactly. And with how much the arrows are highlighted, it does look like he's maybe almost 3/4 of the way. I would imagine probably somewhere around 15 or 16 units at this point have died. That's the good thing about kegs, right? Kegs count. So kegs do count towards Maokai. So that is something neat about this deck that kind of...
Okay, I see that now. Yeah, so the deckhand essentially counts for 2 minions there.
The Petty Officer does, and then the powder kegs count for 2. Or it's not the powder kegs, Yeah, yep.
So actually, pretty much all the minions that, or I keep saying minions, followers, all the followers that keep using all essentially count for 2. So every time that Maokai's on the field and they die, you're tossing 2, adding 2.
Yep.
So that is like, you really only, if he's on the field, you really only need 6 of those cards to die.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is nice.
100%. And I'm curious to see. I mean, listen, this Swiftwing's at 3 health, so I'm pretty sure it's gonna die. Yeah. So I guess this is where this comes in handy, right? You are able to draw 2 at burst speed. You also do level up the Maokai at burst speed, and that's one of the good things about burst speed spells that have the toss mechanic. So now Fresh Lobster's in a pretty odd situation.
Oh, there we go. That mechanic.
Ooh. Wait, why is he... Oh, he's leveling up the Ash. Okay. So I'm curious, though. I feel like he still might have... Oh, no, he wants to draw the Crystal Arrow sooner. Because if he waited till next turn to level her up, then it would have been 2 turns until he draws the Crystal Arrow. So now it is nice that the Crystal Arrow is now putting an extra card. You never thought that when Ash first came out that adding the Crystal Arrow to the top of your deck is actually a counter to Maokai. So...
Well, that's the other thing, too. He could have risked milling the arrow with Maokai.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a good thing that he did wait to level it up. So good heads-up play by Fresh Lobster there. But I'm hard-pressed to see if he can close out this game now because he's only got limited tools left in his deck, and his opponent's going to have just a bit more than he does.
Yeah, in terms of advantage, it's clearly in Cephalapod's favor.
Yeah, and then he's got all these chump blockers, man. This is going to be rough. I mean, Fresh Lobster does have a pretty good field. I mean, he's got some beefed up units, and there's the Crystal Arrow.
Right, but he needs to carry that for 15 damage. And, I'm pretty sure with all these followers replacing themselves on the board that it's just going to chunk block until he's milled.
And Cephalapod did crucially mill a Ruination, if you caught that, right? So
Yeah.
is a lower probability.
But they are running 3 copies of it, so I'm not
that's right.
about that.
Yeah, never mind. So he's probably got another one then, because I haven't seen another one tossed or anything like that. So if Fresh Lobster were to just start to play some units here to try to go all in next turn, it's highly probable that Cephalopod's going to go ahead and play Ruination. Okay. So now this kind of triggers it, so Fresh Lobster has the okay to go all in now.
I mean, Fresh Lobster really doesn't have any choice. Yes, he make the best of his minions and push it fast. We see on the other side, too, you got that random sea monster coming in handy to basically help stall out, basically wait for the inevitable of just milling completely.
Yeah, and it's funny because that 7/7 is legitimately like the worst one you could get. That's like
it's the cheapest, right?
Yeah, I guess it's the cheapest, so not necessarily the worst, but like because they all have deep, it's pretty insane how awesome. Just late game, they're all really good cards.
Ooh, the rally might help push a little extra damage in.
Ooh, especially on the same turn as Crystal Arrow. So the problem is if he Crystal Arrows, this could get a Ruination from Cephalapod, but I mean,
but that's his only chance. He has to go for it.
Yeah, I think he kind of has to. I don't think he has another option, right? He has to hopefully just pray that his opponent doesn't have a Ruination, or if he does, that it's not going to get played.
Yeah, if he went ahead and passed the turn over, I mean, the 7/7 and the 5/5 really would have cleaned up.
Mm-hmm.
It really just would have left him in a bad position. So he's going in now. He knows pretty much that's all he can do. Still leads the 5/5 up.
Wow. Oh no. So I think he's baiting another. That's really ballsy if he's baiting another. Actually, I guess it doesn't matter, right? Because he's not going to die this turn, Cephalapod. So he's okay with baiting and possibly getting an attack from Fresh Lobster, because then when it passes back over to him, he could just play Ruination on that turn.
So the good thing here is that now the wolf is cleaning up the the sea monster, which I'm spacing on the name of. Then he can take care of the keg. It's just dealing with the 5/5, and I think that's going to leave the enforcer to kind of take care of it.
Well, you mean the Swiftwing Lancer?
The Lancer, yeah.
Yeah, the Lancer will probably trade with it. I don't think he really needs to care about the keg right now.
He's not concerned about damage, but I think he's better off dealing with that than killing off one of the Aristocrat, because he'd rather deal with less chump on.
Yeah, 100%. And again, I think this is the right decision by Fresh Lobster, even if Cephalapod has a Ruination, because I don't think there's another way that Fresh Lobster wins the game. If he doesn't
play, right. So if he doesn't play Ruination now, he's free to play Rally.
Yep.
He might win the game right off that.
Yeah, because Cephalapod would have played. There's no reason Cephalapod wouldn't have played Ruination there.
He would have had to play at that.
Yep.
That chance. Yeah.
So there is a high probability. Let's see. Does he end up winning off of this?
We're gonna find out.
This rally might actually win him the game. He's gonna get 2 blockers. The barrel critically can't block, which is really good for Fresh Lobster.
Yep, it allows him to squeeze a little damage in and set up for the kill.
And even if he blocked 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, he can only do 10 damage with the rally, though. Wow! What? That was a
good read.
Wow, that was a really good read. And honestly, that's ballsy by Cephalapod. Wow.
That was a bait.
Yeah, that's ballsy to really hold on to that Ruination that long. That's insane. Good.
Fresh Lobster just like, damn.
Yeah, Fresh Lobster. Yeah, you got owned, man. Like, not much you can do about that there. That's really disheartening.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
I was gonna. Okay, there's actually a weird chance here that because he has this. Oh no, the +4/+4 doesn't stick.
Yeah, it's just around.
So he can at least kill the Yeti,
Well, you were
I guess.
thinking what I was doing. You were thinking scouting, attacking.
Well, I was thinking if that 4/4 sticks on the 2/2, it's a scout that can attack twice. So like, he could actually kill the Yeti and then attack twice with the scout next turn. Oh god. Yeah. Oh, okay. This is a thing. 4-8.
Yeah.
That's only 10. Oh, and he's got Relentless Pursuit. He can actually win this turn if Cephalapod doesn't have anything.
Yeah, let's see if it goes through.
Is he
I
doing?
think he's all in.
I'm very surprised he played both right away. I think he should have held one back. I'm not sure if it matters or not.
I agree.
So we'll see. So that's the scout.
I think either way it doesn't matter because if he has the removal for it, the other one's dead in hand.
Yeah, he either has it or doesn't.
So he scouts, he attacks again.
Yeah, it's stunned. So yeah, it's game's over.
Geez.
Oh
yeah.
wow, that's a clutch Twisted Fate. That feels bad. And
clutch Ruination bluff.
Yeah, that was interestingly enough, Fresh Lobster had plays all the way until that very last turn. That's incredible. Yeah. We have now seen officially our first Maokai tournament win. Oh yeah, win by deck out. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, like I was saying about Maokai, is you really only one to get the effect off.
Yep.
But the fact that he's using it as a 2 with all these weaker followers, and he's using it to kind of navigate through his deck to get to a different win condition if need be. I think that's what really sets this deck apart, and we'll probably see throughout the tournament and for weeks to come.
Yeah, definitely. I'm curious to see the different Maokai builds that kind of come about. Now we have Fresh Lobster playing the same deck. So now Fresh Lobster
taking on the Bannerman.
Yeah, so it's almost like the reverse matchup, although obviously Fresh Lobster is playing a much different Bannerman deck.
Yeah, this is more likely come to see more often.
Yeah, exactly what we've seen basically all day.
Which is fine, but we're seeing it face a new deck.
But so what I will say, I mean, Fresh Lobster seems to have set himself up though, as far as the matches are concerned, where now he just has to win. Like, what's his other deck, right? Oh no, he switched decks, so he has to play the Bannerman Freljord deck. So
yeah,
I wonder what's
so
Cephalapods.
His Karma deck was banned.
Yeah, so what's Cephalapods? It's just this Bannerman deck. So that means his Freljord version of Demacia is gonna have to beat Cephalapod's Bannerman if he wins this game, which I think the Freljord version will have the advantage because of the Fury of the North and all the Frostbites.
Correct. I'm with you there. Although the spell package in Cephalapod's Bannerman deck is unique in the sense that it's also running a full set of back-to-back.
Ooh, okay. I haven't seen that in a while. Okay, so
yeah.
So that advantage that Fresh Lobster would have is definitely curbed a little bit by having those.
Yeah, it's going to take navigating around those freezes. I mean, the rest of the build is fairly standard. He is running 2 Rangers Resolves, 2 Purify, 2 Simple Combat, and 3 Repose.
Wow, okay. So it's definitely a much more even matchup of those back-to-back. So I'm curious if we do make it to that third game, what's going to happen there.
Yeah, but for now, I want to see this. I want to see Fresh Lobster pull ahead, not being the Bannerman person.
Yeah, right. I do want to see Fresh Lobster take this. I'm not gonna lie. So actually, as we're in between turns here, I'm just gonna update everybody right quick on who is 4-0. We got Rattling Bones is still coming in at 4-0. Wind God, or I guess we're gonna go with Wind God still, is 4-0. One Fleur, Divinity Break, good old Prismaticism, Primitive, and that is all for now. Tofir looks like he lost. Bruised by God is still 3-1. All New Bagels lost. He's now 3-1. So nice.
Yeah.
Sir Loathing, who we saw earlier, I think we saw him lose earlier, is now 3-1. Or no, he beat Swim, didn't he?
Who did?
Sir Loathing?
Yeah, he beat Swim. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So yeah, he's actually 3-1, so he's going on to do well. So curious to see how this game finishes out here.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so now we have the Pilfered Goods, which I'm curious about again. I mean, being able to steal some Bannerman is always nice.
Yeah, now he has the early Twisted Fate here for red card, which is pretty freaking good, not gonna lie. This card, man. Yeah. I cannot wait. Honestly, I can't wait to start playing, just to play Twisted Fate again. Like this card is so fun to play, it's ridiculous. And the his level up animation is that much more fun. I don't know if you've seen it before, but
yeah,
I love
it
seeing
reminds me of Gambit from X-Men. I'm psyched about that.
Yeah, yep, exactly. And everybody thinks Gambit is the shit on X-Men. Let's be real. So
yeah, Blightwater, I haven't really opened managed
Bilgewater?
Bilgewater. Yeah, you know what. But I managed to get a full set of the, what do you call it? Zappy Sharkfin, I think it's called.
Oh, yes, Zap. Yeah, that card is also very good.
Yeah, Zap Sprayfin. There we go. Yeah, and that's definitely a good card. It also...
It tutors
like,
a 3-cost spell.
Stuff.
Yeah.
It tutors stuff, and it's got the Attuna too. I like it. I'm not sure what I'm going to play it in, though. It's definitely a flexible card, though.
The question is, what are people going to find for that card that is a 3-cost spell that's going to be abusable? Right?
The only thing that I've seen so far, tuning into some of Swim stream, is that he used it to find a card that reduces your sea serpents by 1. And I thought that was clever because that quickly really does help that deck just drop a whole bunch of threats at once.
Yeah, and you can get them out of your deck before they get tossed, you know?
So. Yeah, and I think he had it as the only card that could possibly tutor out too, so it got it every time.
Yep, that sounds about right.
So you were guaranteed to basically find at least 2 of those in a given game, and that way you can drop 2 mana, 7/7.
Nice. Okay. Cool. So
which is strictly better than a 4 mana 7/7.
Yeah, I know, it's official. We now have a 4 mana 7/7 in Legends of Runeterra, but with the condition that it has to be played with 15 cards or less in your deck.
Yeah, we thought 3 mana 4/4s were bad.
Yeah, we're up to a 4 mana 7/7. Yeah. Oh god, you gotta love that meme. That's a meme that Hearthstone will never live down. Oh god, that's the 3rd time. Oh, we said it.
Well, Hearthstone managed to get a 4 mana 8/8, so
they're already doing things better. Oh Jesus.
Yeah, time to scream power creep, right?
Yeah, right. So we got honestly, this looks like a pretty tough board for Cephalapod. I mean, the Withering Whale doesn't do much, which is unfortunate. Looks like he's gonna opt to get rid of the Fiora. There's really nothing else he could do. Losing that Twisted Fate, I think, is a big deal. I'm actually surprised he decided to block with it. I don't know if he's...
Well, the other thing, too, is it looks like he played a Rangers dealing with the board right now. Tricky.
Yeah. Yeah, the Rangers Resolve, dude, every time we've seen that played, it just makes the board so strong. And, like, he could have killed the Garen if it wasn't for that Rangers Resolve.
Yeah, because it essentially neutralizes, like, wow, I'm tongue-tied. I can't even say the name of the card right now. But Withering Whale, it basically neutralizes anything to deal with that. And it makes Make It Rain pretty much useless as a deckhand.
Oh, so the Love Toy made a good point in chat. We actually already had a 4 mana 7/7, which I totally forgot about in the first set. Crocolith is 4 mana 7/7, but you have to kill 2 units to summon it. So that's substantially worse. But it is a card. It does exist.
Okay, so we're riding the coattails. 7/7.
Yeah, basically, we're just gonna keep putting 4 mana 7/7s in card games until it's just accepted that a 4 mana 7/7 is okay to have in a card game.
As long as there's no card text or downs.
Yeah. Good heads up, Love Toy. Good heads up.
Yeah, I appreciate more 4 mana 7/7 coming to play.
So yeah, I mean, Fresh Lobster's having to take some really crappy blocks, and honestly, this is the one time where 3 Ruinations in your hand, you just really don't want him. I mean, he basically is going to be forced into playing the Ruination. Probably after this block, I don't see why he wouldn't. I don't see why he would wait.
Yeah, although the one thing that you'd want to consider is, you know, if he wants to pull a page out of Cephalapod, you can bait him into playing a little more.
I mean,
because at the same time, it's like, who's going to expect 3 Ruination back to back?
And well, if he just passes back here, that's like, if he passes back, I think it's because Cephalapod baited him into that Ruination. Because there's no way you pass back and risk burning 8 mana. Like, that's insane. Okay, there we go. So he's not on tilt mode yet.
Not yet, but here we go.
So that was almost a necessity. So that's good for Cephalapod because he gets rid of one of the Ruinations without, you know, killing off too many units and falling too far behind in card advantage. Oh, that's bad. Yeah, so having the Cythria immediately after that feels really bad for Fresh Lobster because the only way he's really going to get rid of that Cythria is another Ruination, and right now it's the only thing on the field. So,
here we go with Maokai to kind of at least get some stuff going.
Yeah, so the Maokai will give him some blockers, which is nice. I mean, I'm not sure how close. Once he hovers over it, we'll be able to see how close he is to actually leveling up. But it will be able to give him those saplings for the blockers, which is going to be pretty big. It'll also get him to his win condition a little bit faster, which is nice. Ooh. Oh, man, that feels really bad. I am a little... I mean, he doesn't really have any units to play here, so I guess that makes sense. But, God, that just feels terrible. I mean, there's literally... Like, if another Cythria comes down, okay, that still feels bad. It's going to be really hard for Fresh Lot. Yeah, 2/4/4s is not fun. Okay, so he's really just trying to avoid taking as much damage as possible right now, which is why he's just playing this, the Spiderling. Yeah, and now, all right, so Cephalapod's trying to set up for the big open attack. I don't think he's putting him on having a third Ruination. So I imagine that Fresh Lobster is going to be playing the third Ruination here after this open attack.
Yeah, like I said, I don't think he was expecting it, but it will come.
Well, yeah, there's no way. Like, Cephalapod can't be like, yeah, he had 3 Ruinations to start. You know, like, that seems a little much. I'd be hard pressed to think that he plays it. That's hard. I mean, if you're Cephalapod, it's really hard to not play a unit here.
Especially when you're that close to finishing things off.
Yeah, it's like, man, he just played 2 Ruinations back-to-back. The odds that he has another one are really low. But I think good read by Cephalapod. You know, I don't think he's necessarily reading that Fresh Lobster has another Ruination. But I think he's like, okay, there's the chance that he has it. I'm not going to risk it. Let's just go with what we have. Push the damage that we can right now. And then force him to play the Ruination if he does have it.
The other thing, too, is he does have the follow-up Withering Whale with a Powder Keg to kind of help stabilize after that.
Yeah, that is a very nice combo, honestly. You know, Withering Whale, and like you said, the Resolve, the Ranger's Resolve that basically negates Withering Whale. You know, that is a good way to get around that.
Like the back-to-back here.
Yeah, the back-to-back is coming in clutch. Wow, so he's still playing the Withering Whale just to stay alive. This is looking really grim for Fresh Lobster. This is not good. He's alive by 1 health right now. Oh, yeah. Man. So, what do you do if you're Fresh Lobster? I mean, it's going to your attack turn, so there's really no reason to play Maokai. I think you could set up the Powder Keg.
Yeah, I think that's your best bet since Zero uses attack.
Yeah,
I don't think he's going to care about the Powder Keg. You know, his minions are already beefed up enough to finish things off.
Well, the Powder Keg might bait Cephalapod into playing some more stuff. Possibly. I don't know. Because at this point, Fresh Lobster's only way he comes back in this is by somehow getting a really, really valuable Ruination. Which is also his last Ruination. So at that point, he needs to be able to make a comeback. So I'm kind of surprised he's playing the Maokai right now. So it looks like, I imagine what he's thinking is, okay, next turn when I attack, I can nab the 4/1 with one of the sapling tokens.
Did we see how close he was to Deep?
Oh my God. To Maokai? Maokai's level up is at like 6 out of 25. It's terrible.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, it's not even close. So that's going to be... All right, so maybe he's really... All right, so he's hardcore baiting Cephalapod into playing stuff to get this Ruination, I think.
That's got to be it, yeah.
I mean, because if he
has no way to trigger Plunder either, so I don't know if he's able to grab anything with the filter goods.
Well, you can use the pilfer goods to just do 1 card.
Right, but does he want to gamble it on 1 card? Is he really in that bad a position?
Yeah, probably not, to be honest with you. And now, like, you know, oh man, he played the Brightsteel Protector. I mean, he can knock off one of the Brightsteel Protectors, But then he has nothing. If he just attacks and doesn't Ruination here, he has nothing to defend next turn. So if he Ruinations, it's just game over because I guarantee Cephalopod has something. Or not guarantee, but it's pretty likely Cephalopod has something in his hand to summon and attack, open attack next turn. Now, if he challenges with the Sapling, one of the Bright Steels, he can also summon another Sapling by playing a Pilfered Goods to block. So so at that point, Cephalopod would need another unit. So it might actually make sense to not play. Okay, he's playing the Pilfered Goods first. Ooh. That's a draw. That's a draw.
Yeah.
That is a draw. Ooh, he's not doing it. He's saving it. That's okay. So
he's not gonna have the Allegiance, though.
Well, oh yeah, he won't have the Allegiance. That's right. Never mind. I take it all back.
It's still a body, so it's better than nothing.
I think I just see Bannerman to just automatically assume that it gives +1/+1 to everything. Like it's not a downside.
Yeah.
Ooh, I think that's game. I do believe that is game. Unless he has to top deck something good. And I think
not gonna happen.
Well, he's looking at his deck too to see what's left, and like a Vile Feast could help if. Okay, he's actually. I would play you could always play the Toss too. If he salvages now, he's probably digging for a Vile Feast to be able to get the blocker. The Bannerman does give him an additional blocker, so that does help.
Yeah, so he needs to at least play that first.
Okay, so never mind. So he is actually alive. So he is alive unless Cephalopod has a blocker next turn, or has an attacker, another follower he can summon. This is they're both taking
another
time.
barrier.
Yeah, ooh. I don't think. Yeah, at this point now, I think he's just going to open attack for the win. And I think Cephalopod honestly has a pretty good read on what Fresh Lobster's on. And he knows, yeah, this is going to be game right here. He can salvage. I mean, we can see what Fresh Lobster is going to draw here. He will get a token, so he can block 4 of these, but he can't block 5 as it currently stands.
Yeah, so one of those is going through, and he really, unless he can Pilfered Goods into something.
Well, no, he could salvage into a Vile Feast and kill. Yeah, he could kill the 4/1 Badger Bear. So that's really the only likely play that he has right now. Wow. Okay. Well, I guess that makes sense. Attacking with the scout unit first.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Actually, I don't even know. I'm surprised none of us caught that. Like, it took him a second too.
Well, the thing too is that it looks the same as the 4-mana 3/3 for the most part.
No, you know what though? With the scout though, if he does attack with scout, that gives Fresh Lobster the chance to Ruination. That's the issue.
Ah, true. Yeah.
So that's actually the smarter decision. Oh, okay. That heals. Does that heal Nexus? I forget.
No,
magic?
it doesn't.
No, it
I
does
think
not.
that was the conversion. It only heals allies.
Okay, he still has Vile Feast. And no Vile Feast. Yep, that's game, it looks like. Well, he can pilfer. Yep, one more shot. I don't even know if there's anything really in... Ooh, that's a little late. And is there a 1-cost thing in Cephalopod's deck? Oh, man, that feels bad, man. Yep. That is game. Wow. Oh, it actually, I forget. I think Maokai only triggers a sapling if you summon a unit, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. I was thinking if you play a card, it summons a sapling, and that's actually not the case. So, wow. So, Fresh Lobster gets quickly 2-0'd. I shouldn't say quickly. That actually took a decent amount of time. He gets 2-0'd by Cephalopod. So, that's nuts. So, he's definitely still in the tournament. He goes down to 3-1. Cephalopod goes up to 4-0. And that's a wrap. I hope you guys enjoyed that gameplay and the casting footage from the tournament. Very excited to get to this next tournament this weekend, whether it be playing in it or casting in it. Awesome time as always. Like I said, thanks again to Kuma for putting the tournament on. So as always, everybody stay healthy, stay positive. I hope shit just works for you, and peace out.